Scientists in Residence project invites leading scientists to share their research with our art and design students, to open it up, to bring other questions, other methods, other mindsets to meet that research.
I love the theme, mattering life, and it's speaking to things that I think about and worry about, mattering life, because living matter is what we're all made of, and then you're asking the question, what is living and what is matter? And this is really what we're doing in the lab, is trying to understand the origin of life and how you convert gases into living matter.
Structure color of the materials here, the molecule is here, and the molecules, materials, absorption, and reflections are the key important keywords for the material color. But the structural color, if you have this molecule in the rod-like structures, this is the case of liquid crystals, but you see the orderings, assemblies of those the molecules like this.
And eventually, if this reproduction is sufficient enough, then they can multiply. So that means they can divide into two different daughter cells, which then you will have a lineage. So that means this system is now evolvable. That's another feature for life. So what I want all of you to think about is to think about what is life? What is the fundamental feature for life?
I'm Kayoko Nohara from Tokyo Institute of Technology. I belong to the Department of Transdisciplinary Science and Engineering. My specific role here is to observe what's going on and record, to work out how the participants translate what they receive, whatever they receive during the workshop, and then process and produce something creative.
When it dries, the molecules of cellulose organize in such a way that they will make this structural color that we see. So all this that is here, you can touch, you can
The Grow Lab is a really interesting space. It's a pretty standardized biological laboratory, apart from the fact the activities that happen here aren't your conventional scientific activities. This is a creative space, you know, it's kind of not normal to view a scientific environment as a creative space, but the Grow Lab becomes an almost hybrid between a lab and a studio.
just tip it in.
Yeah, just rub it in.
But still they can do it inside.
One of the really interesting things for me is science is about ideas more than anything else, and art is also about ideas, but these ideas go in different directions and they come back together in unexpected ways and unexpected places. So watching that happen is really fascinating.
It doesn't diffuse out of this small circle, and the research is very much outcome-based.
So we invite scientists to give talks, demonstrate in the lab some aspects of their research. Yesterday we did a lab visit to the Lane Lab at UCL, and to attune the students into different ways of working, what scientific research is, how it works, what questions they're asking, how they're asking those questions.
I guess it kind of invites other imagery in. And then you can do science, and then you mix everything together.
Right down. This one, I don't remember where it's the rest. I have some in a camera that I can show you. Maybe from a computer. Okay.
Should we put this in here?
Try. So after we were at UCL this morning, and on the way back, we picked up some samples of living things, some by the canal. Some of it we dyed with like a purple pigment to help us see it under the microscope better. Looking at like 200 magnification. What else?
It's kind of finding something live.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking for squiggly things, things that were moving. That was the goal.
Yeah.
Did you find anything?
We found a bug.
We found a little wormy thing. It was all see-through and very cute.
And we found a little, I don't know, it's insects.
Yeah, I mean, that's permanent. It's the pop against the and for the weaving stuff, there's in the fashion studios they have huge amounts of just waste fabric.
So we're going to drip from down at first water just to try out the system, and after that we're going to try with different chemicals, like how they're going to react maybe with each other. Yeah, we could layer in
At the moment it's
I was so surprised to see their way of thinking, and also though the things they happening around here, around me, is very good to me to find the new directions of science engineering.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Similar.
Once we were nothing, and then we were one.
Why they grow?
Welcome everybody to Matter in Life closing event. We have been working all week with scientists exploring this theme of matter in life, looking at the origins, evolutions and ambiguities of life and the living.
And it's very interesting to me that kind of free imagination with the support to do experiments and do interesting things and think and express yourself is also what brings the best out in scientists. So again, we have this, we're kind of pushed apart in some way by societal expectations. We have something in common, and it's lovely for me to rediscover that.
Finally, I came to the one idea that artistic strategy became more important for my studies or our studies for the material science.
Mattering life. We search for an origin story, an attempt to explain the what, how and why of matter. We unpack ourselves, one reaction at a time, track back to some kind of beginning on a rock and water planet. We search for an origin story, uncover an invisible process of state change, energy flow, entropy, optimization, Krebs cycles, motion blindness. We watch life repeat and replicate, transmit its complex message over time, growth without notion of destination. We search for an origin story, see patterns emerge across data, topography, species. We sift signal and noise through blips in graphs to find similarity at the chemical level, some equivalence in the deeper structure, some common ground across so much difference. We search for an origin story to understand better what all this might mean, discern agency in the invisible, translate this beautiful abstraction of life into shorthand, through language and symbols, through equations and diagrams. We get it all down on the page, an attempt to distill the inexplicable. We search for an origin story, try to inhale all these ideas in an anaerobic chamber. We self-assemble and speculate across boundaries and disciplines to reshape theory into another kind of form. model the collective conditions for ideas to evolve, thrive, and sometimes fail. We search for an origin story and leave without the comfort of a single complete account, to inhabit an uncertainty rich with questions, thoughts on how to share this information, to look more closely at the world around us, the worlds within us, the worlds between us, to rethink our notions of life-like, to notice more about what matters in life, how it matters, and why.